Here's an educational sketch of what's happening now with Trump's push to gain more control over the U.S. Federal Reserve, what the legal and institutional tensions are, and what might happen going into 2026. If you want, I can also sketch how this compares to other countries or past U.S. history. What's going on now? 1. Efforts to remove a Fed governor. President Trump has tried to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook, citing alleged misconduct, mortgage-related disclosures, as the justification. However, courts have blocked her removal for now, saying that the law requires for cause, and that past conduct before assuming office may not qualify under that requirement. 2. Board composition and new appointments. Trump has appointed Stephen Moran, his economic advisor, to the Board of Governors. If Cook were removed, Trump would have 5 of the 7 governors appointed by him. That would tilt the board significantly. The regional Federal Reserve Bank presidents, 12 of them, rotate into voting status for the Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC. Only 5 vote at a time. These regional presidents are chosen by private local boards but must be approved by the Board of Governors. So controlling the governors helps influence who among the regional presidents gets confirmed. 3. Legal precedents and challenges. The Federal Reserve Act requires that governors be removed only for cause, meaning misconduct, negligence, or malfeasance, not simply policy disagreement. Courts are involved in interpreting whether the allegations meet for cause. The Humphreys Executor Supreme Court decision, 1935, is central. It limits a president's ability to remove independent agency officials just for political reasons. 4. Institutional independence versus political pressure. Even with all this, there are guardrails, long staggered terms, separation of roles, legal removal only for cause, multiple actors, governors plus regional bank presidents, in decision-making, required Senate confirmation for appointments. What might be ahead in 2026? Here are possible scenarios, risks, and what to watch out for as this plays out. Scenario likely path risks. Effects, legal decision favors the president. If courts rule that the allegations against Cook qualify as cause, or a change in law or interpretation allows easier removal, Trump could gain full majority on the Board of Governors. Also, when regional bank presidents come up for reappointment, end of Feb 2026 for many, the board might block ones not aligned with him, could erode Fed independence, might reduce confidence among investors, increase perceptions of political risk. Interest rate policy could shift to reflect short-term political goals, e.g., cutting rates to stimulate economy regardless of inflation. Long-term inflation, borrowing costs could suffer. Legal decision upholds independence courts reinforce that for cause removal is a strong protection. Cook remains in place. Some governors might resist political pressure. Fed may continue modest rate cuts or policy path more driven by data than politics. The pressure could still erode trust. Even short of removal, frequent pressure from the White House could affect perception of Fed's impartiality. Markets may demand higher risk premia. Mixed outcome, Josh, incremental control. Trump may not remove Cook, but with his appointees and a majority on the board, he could influence appointments of regional presidents, influence policy signaling, push for lower interest rates, or shift regulatory stance. Could lead to policy that swings more with political cycles. Greater risk of inflation if rate cuts are premature. Risk of undermining Fed's credibility, especially globally. Possibly legal challenges or legislative pushback from Congress. Broader implications for the economy policy. Inflation and credibility. A central bank that is seen as subject to political whims may struggle to anchor inflation expectations. If people believe the